God.
Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Kortensia Carty.
Oh my goodness, it's Monday.
It is, and then we try to invent TGIM, but then we have the next generation telling us that cannot work.
I know, right? They say it's not Monday. It only works for Fridays. It's Friday. I don't care what they say. We're going to do it all right anyway. It's
Monday.
Right.
But then maybe we should just stick to Marvelous Monday.
Okay, well, I can't dispute that. I can't dispute that.
Yes.
Although Monday has a better ring. Hashtag Monday if you like Mondays. All right.
Yeah. And we start today with the weather forecast. So it's not really, but it's partly cloudy with a 60% or moderate chance of showers, a high of 86 and a low of 72 degrees Fahrenheit. I have no props, so not pulling out any umbrellas.
No really. Yeah. No really weather today, which by the way in Jamie's speak stands for partly breezy. Yeah. Just in case you missed it.
Breezy? It can also be used as in the sense of really.
I guess. I like it. I love the way it's evolving. So how was your weekend?
Good. Yours?
Quiet. Nice. Yeah. Peaceful. And after all of that, we get into the local news, which is why you were watching us this morning. We are back on Good Morning SKN, and we do apologize. Apparently, the Monday gods were telling us that Monday is not a thing. So we get a little technical glitch, but we're moving on. But right now to the local news. We get it. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
All right. First in local news, this from the press unit in the office of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris conducted one of his regular visits to the Bastille Public Market early Saturday morning, where he commended local farmers and vendors for contributing to the substantial progress being made in the overall advancement of the agricultural sector. Prime Minister Harris, who was joined on his visit by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Ron Devlin Collins, and Crops Program Leader in the Department of Agriculture, that is Mr. Ian. Yes, again, he's a crops program leader in the Department of Agriculture. Mr. Ian Chapman stated that he is, quote, quite impressed with the build-out of our strategy for food security in St. Kitts and Nevis. Prime Minister Harris said, quote, on every visit to the public market here in Bastille, the main outlet for receiving and trading of agricultural goods in St. Kitts, I feel comforted that we are on a path. It's a long journey yet to go, but there has been substantial progress, end quote. Dr. Harris also noted that he was particularly pleased to know that most of the produce that was being sold at the Bastille Public Market was locally grown.
Progress
produce. Hey.
Oh, look at that.
Goes together.
Progress in produce.
I don't want the pea gods to come at me again. So.
We continue now with story number 2. This from the Nevis Island Administration press release. More than 20 women from across Nevis are now more enlightened and equipped to handle gender equality issues in their workplaces and communities, having attended the 2nd annual Women's Self-Empowerment Workshop on Tuesday, March 8, 2022. The workshop, hosted by Ms. Latoya Jones, Special Advisor in the Premier's Ministry, was held on International Women's Day and shared the theme for 2022, Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. During the opening ceremony, Ms. Jones noted that this year's workshop was geared towards women who worked in various professions, especially those employed in jobs that traditionally have been predominantly male. These include police officers, security personnel, and public servants. Ms. Jones said, and I quote, "This workshop was implemented to be the voice of women in our country, a workshop geared towards educating, uplifting, and furthering the development of women from all spectrums, especially those that are often disenfranchised," end quote. She continued, and I quote, "It is imperative that we as women continue to let our presence be felt and our voices be heard. Let us continue to highlight and address the issues and concerns that are affecting us as women. Only through fighting for what we believe in can we create the change that is necessary to further our advancement, thus creating a sustainable future," end quote.
I know you love that, sir.
I know, women on the rise.
All right. And you're fighting too. You've got your fighting arms. All right. Finally, in local news, the SK NFA president encourages girls at the Joyce and Library Primary School to get involved in football. This from Win Media. President of the St. Kitts Nevis Football Association, Mr. Atiba Harris, made a presentation to the Joyce and Library Primary School in Gingerland, Nevis on Monday, March 7th, 2022. The school received various sporting equipment to assist with its physical education program and also for the development of football in the Federation, beginning at the grassroots level. According to Harris, the series of presentations began at the Joyce and Library Primary School because his family is rooted in the Gingerland area. I started here in Gingerland because my family is rooted here. My mother, grandmother are rooted here in Gingerland. So I see this as home for me, and hopefully this will go a long way in helping the development of football and a partnership with Nevis so that we can join forces and become totally united as St. Kitts and Nevis has to continue to grow and develop the sport of football in the Federation, end quote. During the presentation ceremony, Harris encouraged the girls at the school to partake in football and emphasize the benefits that can be derived from sports in general. So, girls, athletic, girls
look at that,
fighting,
look at that. Gender
girls,
equality.
women doing a lot of things. Awesome.
While staying fit.
And girls, or woman, is going to take us to the break.
Yes, on this lovely breely, on this lovely Monday. Stick and stay. We will be right back after this commercial break.
Consuming excess salt can lead to heart attack, high blood pressure, and even stroke, and other health-related conditions such as kidney disease.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. We now move on to the latest in regional news. This from the Associated Press. Pressure is building on the Biden administration to begin unwinding sanctions on Venezuela after President Nicolas Maduro freed 2 American prisoners and promised to resume negotiation with his opponents. Maduro's goodwill gesture came during a weekend trip to Caracas by senior White House and State Department officials that caught off guard Maduro's friends and foes alike. While the Biden administration is saying little about what was discussed, behind closed doors, a smug Maduro, who had sought face-to-face talks with the U.S. for years, bragged that careful protocols was followed with the flags of the two nations beautifully united as they should be. For the past 5 years, the U.S. has, with little success, tried everything from punishing all sanctions to criminal indictment and support for clandestine coups in its campaign to remove Maduro and restore what it sees as Venezuela's stolen democracy. But Russia's invasion of Ukraine has suspended the world's order, forcing the U.S. to rethink its national security priorities. Hostile petrostates under U.S. sanctions like Iran and Venezuela are seen as the most likely to benefit as President Joe Biden seeks to mitigate the impact from a ban on Russian oil imports that may aggravate the highest inflation in 4 decades. So, you see that? They always say the first shall be last and the last shall be first, Venezuela and Iran back in things.
There we go. And we're moving on to international news. Saudi Arabia puts 81 to death in the largest mass execution in kingdom's modern history. This from the Associated Press. Saudi Arabia on Saturday executed 81 people convicted of crimes ranging from killings to belonging to militant groups, the largest known mass execution carried out in the kingdom in its modern history. The number of executed surpassed even the toll of a January 1980 mass execution for the 63 militants convicted of seizing the Grand Mosque in Mecca in 1979, the worst ever militant attack to target the kingdom and Islam's holiest site. It wasn't clear why the kingdom chose Saturday for the executions, though they came as much of the world's attention remained focused on Russia's war on Ukraine and as the U.S. hopes to lower record-high gasoline prices as energy prices spike worldwide. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson reportedly plans a trip to Saudi Arabia next week over oil prices as well. The number of death penalty cases being carried out in Saudi Arabia had dropped during the coronavirus pandemic, though the kingdom continued to behead convicts under King Salman and his assertive son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The state-run Saudi press agency announced Saturday's executions, saying they included those, quote, convicted of various crimes, including the murdering of innocent men, women, and children, end quote. Well, there you have it for the latest. We will be back in a moment to continue. Good morning, SKN, on what is a lovely Monday morning here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Stay tuned.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Did you know that there are certain seasonings that contain more salt than you actually need? There are more natural, healthier ways to reduce the salt intake in your dishes by using natural things like onions, garlic, seasoned peppers, and even thyme and merengue powder.
going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who can support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen?
Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back to Good Morning SKN. The St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association, or the SKNRA, prides itself on the ideology that well-rounded, innovative individuals can be crafted out of all youth, residing locally, regionally, and internationally. This can be done by developing their creative and problem-solving skills to prepare them for global opportunities within the field of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Recently, the SKNRA announced that there is a St. Kitts and Nevis National Robotics Competition, or the SKNNRC, slated for early April 2022. Today, we are joined by Sanjeev Shurish, the Innovation and Technology Coordinator, and Kyra Edmead, a member of the SKNRA, who are here with us today for Good Morning's SKN's Youth Power.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome. It's great to have you indeed.
So I'm going to start with the first question. What does the SKNRA hope to achieve with the National Robotics Competition?
So the SKNRA, as we know, is the Robotics Association in St. Kitts, and it's the only association within the region for ACS. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to empower the youths within STEAM, the field of STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths. Now, arts is something that's not implemented anywhere. They use STEM. They say STEM education. We want to implement STEAM education because everything starts off with prototyping, designing. You don't build a house without the design first. You don't make a robot without a design. You don't make a website without a design. So we want to implement that. And along with the lines of that, we want to also show that our youths here have the potential. They just need a platform, a place where they can showcase that potential. And that is where SKNRA comes in to provide different programs and so forth, where these young individuals can showcase the potential to the maximum.
So when you hear that, does that resonate with you, Kyra?
Yes, it does. I feel like it's great for young children because St. Kitts does not have many programs here for children. And I think that a lot of children are into robots, and you know, electronic and technology is what's coming up now. So to get them in from the start is really, really good.
So how important it is for the youth to be involved in STEAM-related activities?
I would say it should be one of their main priorities because me, myself, I'm more into like the field of tech.
Okay.
And also now I'm trying to move into the field of engineering, science, and so forth. And I have persons who I communicate with on a regular, and we have individuals within the association, members. Just like Kyra, we have other members who are well-talented. They have ideas that sometimes blow our minds, because we might hear these ideas as a science fiction, but they make it a reality. You just need to provide them the platform and so forth. And we have seen this countless times in the first Global Robotics Olympics. And this year, actually, we're going to be participating for the 6th time. So 5 years in a row, we have noticed that each country have a different way to solve different problems. And none of these individual ideas are ever similar. They are unique, they have a unique design, a feel. And this is what you find, that each individual has a unique idea, a concept that not everyone thinks alike. And sometimes one might find a better solution than the others, a more efficient, more fast-track solution than the next.
I guess that really comes to bear when you have competitions like this. What can you tell us about the format of the national competition?
So the international competition actually is Robotics Olympics, So the way they do it is they take one of the sustainable goals, the United Nations Sustainable Goals, and they give that as a task. So I think for 3 years we had, and that was 2017, 2018, 2019, when we were traveling overseas, the competition were based on water pollution and hydroelectricity. Now, this is the main concepts they had, but then 2020 and 2021, we went virtual. Because of COVID restriction, we couldn't travel, so we went virtual, and we realized that the way the concept went, they gave us multiple tasks, and each of these were to solve problems within our own community in this federation. And that's where we actually decided the main thing that we have that we don't have that other countries have is an e-learning platform. So you have Google Classroom, you have Microsoft Teams and so forth. So we said, let's create our own. And so that's when we created IITAE. And that's something that is built in St. Kitts and Nevis, and we're proud of it. So things like these is what empowers the robotics competition. And right now and even the association started from there. Because we met with Dean Kamen, the founder and the CEO for First Global Robotics Olympics. And when Dr. Neil met him, the first thing he says, just do it. Why haven't you started? And that's when we started Robotics Association in 2020, January 13 precisely.
Okay. So post-pandemic. So Kyra, how did you get involved and why did you get involved?
Okay, so I do IT in school.
Okay.
And Mr. Neil, who is also he has a big part in SKNRA and IITA. He motivated me, and sometimes when we're in class, he would be like, "Y'all should join the robotics club, you know, it's what's coming up." And after a while of thinking, I'm just like, it sounds excited, and I'm all for taking risk and enjoying it. So I said, you know what, let me try and see if I like it. And I actually do really like it. It's fun and nice.
Okay, that's good.
All right, well, we'll be back to talk with you a little bit after for a brief break. Stay tuned, everyone. More Good Morning SKN in a moment.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor.
Salt is an important
and now the
part of the human diet, but most of us consume more than we realize.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first.
If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the Counseling Center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are continuing our discussion with members of St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association, or the SKNRA, Sanjeev Suresh, Innovation and Technology Coordinator, and Kyra Edmead, a member of the SKNRA. So we're talking all about the competition, and we want to know if you have some insight into the criteria for the competition that you can share with us.
So, basis of the international competition, the usual goes by 14 to 18 years old. Those persons can be members, and those members can be from high school, the college, and so forth. Now, for those who are above 18 and also want to join, they can do so. But we're going to have to go through an evaluation process because that will be for mentors. So me, myself, I would have been a team member for 2 years, which is 2019 and 2020. But 2021, since I was older, I had to become a mentor.
Look at you, you're older.
So that's one. But now we are trying to implement the St. Kitts and Nevis National Robotics Competition, which is hopefully scheduled to take place either April or May, and it's going to be taken locally. So we're trying to invite 18 different schools. That also includes the youth groups, like the all-female youth group, the national youth group, and so forth. And the age criteria is the same once again, 14 to 18, and we're trying to get persons to get involved in STEAM education.
Kortensia, do you hear that? All female youth groups included. She's pro, you know.
So myself and Oksana.
Okay, there you go. You got it.
So will these high school students be given guidance throughout the robot building process?
Indeed. So the students are going to be given a mentor. So each mentor will be one of the past members who would have traveled or would have been part of the team in the Robotics Olympics. So each team will get their own mentor. The mentor is going to take them through the full process. And plus, I think Kyra can explain this. We actually have courses on IIT regarding this. So.
Okay, we have a robotics training course, which is either hardware or software. We have a drone development course. We have a game, either if you want a web or an app. We have those courses for design and development. We have, oh my God, my mind went blank.
We have courses in the field of STEAM, and this is mainly to push students because some of these challenges that we would have faced in the Robotics Olympics in 2020 and 2021 would have been, they gave us tasks like make an animation, and for us it was new, and so we had to learn, and our deadlines for then was like 2 days. So we had to learn the whole animation process in 2 days and so forth, and those fell in the arts. And that's when we were like, we need to implement this where we can show students how good it is to know new skills and learn new knowledge. And so that's when IITA, we actually have courses like, I think it's Microsoft, Compy, and so forth. And these actually enable you to get more in depth. And we have a whole agenda in the thing. It's a course outline. It covers everything you need to know. So you can build from, once you get the robotics kit, everything from the robotics kit to our fully built product. Everything is in there. So the course is there. You're going to have a mentor guidance as well. So they have everything set.
How can persons register?
We haven't opened the registration for, actually we have, but I'm not familiar. I'll have to check with the director for that. Okay. That will be for schools, individual schools, but for the Robotics Olympics itself, the registration is actually supposed to open this weekend. Okay. Well, I'm the technology director, so when I open it, it opens. So I'm hoping to open it this weekend.
He knows the key.
So this weekend it should open, and for anyone, once again, let me just put this out there because every year we had the same question. I missed the registration. Every year I've heard this. So with the registration, we actually announce when it goes live on our social media pages. which is SKNRA, on Instagram, Flickr, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So once we announce it, the registration's open, and the registration's open for like a month or two the most. Because once it's like May or June, the registration closes with the Olympics, so we can't register anyone again. So that's the thing.
So there's still time. There's still time.
There's enough time.
Just wait.
I keep hearing Olympics. I know when it's Olympics, you run, you jump. So, and I know about robot wars. So when you build these robots, do you race them or something? Is that what the Olympics is about?
Okay, so robotics, the reason we keep saying Olympics is because Olympics styled event.
Okay.
And the way it works is that you have teams, but instead of working individually, you team up with other teams, and these teams are randomized. So you're working in teams of 3, so with 2 other different countries. So your robot is supposed to complete tasks. So I'll give you an example of 2019 because that's my favorite bot. We call it Raptor. And the bot's purpose is to clean ocean contaminants. So the ocean contaminants in this scenario is sponge balls. Small balls are mini contaminants and the large balls are large contaminants. So it has to collect those from the ocean and go and drop it off at a disposable area. Now, the disposal area is like an elevated lane. So if you can shoot it to a higher points, you get points. Higher, so the top point is 3 points, the middle is 2, and the bottom one is you can just push it in, and that's 1 point. And so you compete with other countries, and it's 4 different teams. Each team has 3 different countries, and they compete against each other to see who gets the most points. And at the end of the competition, they accumulate the total collected by each team to give them the ranking. And over the years, we have actually gained a good amount, and that's when we realized that we are as smart and we are as talented and skillful as other big countries. Because now, if I tell you right now, we're competing against China in technology, what would you say?
I'd say that's great. Absolutely.
But what would you say? We say that every year we have outdone them.
I say that you need to say that again.
So every single year we have actually outdone every single country. United States, we have outdone China, we have outdone Canada, every country, and we have always had our ranking in the top 20 out of 200 countries. So St. Kitts is up there. We're the first in the Caribbean, OECS, and regionally we're known as the robotics movers. So that is how the competition works. That is why I keep saying Olympics, because it's Olympic style.
Well, we want to thank you for sharing so much with us. Again, finally, Facebook pages, social media pages for the registration when the competition is going live.
So the registration will take place on our website, which is sknr.org, but it will be announced on our social media pages, which is Instagram, Flickr, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at SKNRA, the St. Kitts Nevis Robotics Association, or SKN Robotics Association on YouTube as well.
Sanjeev Suresh, Kyra Edme, thank you so much for joining us and enlightening us about this wonderful, let's say step into technology, step into the future, steam. We're steaming ahead. Let's leave it there. We'll be back in a moment with more Good Morning SKN. Everybody stay tuned.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks and choosing products with low sodium content. That's why I am Salt Smart.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
You can lower your salt intake by reducing salty foods, removing table salt, and using salt alternatives when cooking.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. The Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, widely known as the NHCS, was established in 1980 and has a mission to protect and promote the historical, cultural, and natural resources of Nevis. Primarily through its Biodiversity Committee, the Society initiates a number of important projects to protect and conserve Nevis' natural heritage and to combat the effects of climate change. Today, we warmly welcome the Director of the NHCS, Janelle Nisbet, to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, Janelle.
Morning, welcome.
Good morning.
All right, so we want to jump right into our talking about the project that the NHCS is currently spearheading in relation to climate change. It's the adaptation project. What can you tell us about what's involved in this project?
Well, currently the NHCS is running a number of projects that would contribute to climate change mitigation. Some of our biggest projects currently would be the reforestation project at New River, as well as a smaller version at Hicks Estate. So the project at New River saw a barren landscape of about 17 acres, and previously it was populated with coconut trees and other forestry. And over the years, climate change became a barren wasteland, basically. So we've been reforesting the area. Currently, we've managed to cover approximately 14 acres of the 17 with different local natural trees, soursop, watermelon, cherries, those that are weather resistant in hopes to be able to reforest the area. Similarly, at Hicks Estate, that was 5 acres. And that became a quarry site. So it was an abandoned quarry site. So that one is taking more efforts because we're facing challenges from donkeys, etc. But we're also reforesting that area. Currently, we've covered 2 acres out of the 5 acres, and it's a work in progress.
It's an important work, and I think you're making really great progress when you're giving us those numbers, what you've covered. That's really remarkable to know.
Yes.
Well, Janelle, I had the pleasure of hearing you at the NISSC graduation.
Yes.
I heard you have a bachelor's in history. I know you were a teacher. I now know you're part of CIS Inc. So I just want to, how do they say, big you up colloquially and just let you know you are a phenomenal woman on the rise.
Thank you.
You are certainly welcome. And with that said, in the NHCS, there is a Biodiversity Committee. Can you tell us what is it responsible for?
Yes, so the NHCS has a broad mandate. We are responsible for protecting and promoting the history, culture, and environment of Nevis. So we have different committees that take charge of different aspects of the society. our biodiversity committee, currently led by Isabel Byron, would be the committee primarily responsible for aspects that concern the environment. And they would take part of our annual events such as Arbor Month, which we celebrate in St. Kitts and Nevis in November. And they would spearhead initiatives such as distributing trees, encouraging planting competitions in schools, scavenger hunts so that kids can learn about the different trees and environment, as well as organize our annual cleanup, which takes place in October. And just a host of activities, to be quite honest.
In terms of public engagement, in terms of the work of the committee itself, how are you, well, the various committees that you just mentioned, how are you able to manage this project successfully? And is there a certain level of buy-in or participation that you rely on from the general public to meet your goals?
Yes, we are heavily reliant on our volunteers. The Biodiversity Committee is a fully voluntary committee. We have an in-staff liaison for that committee, which would be Arkela Bendito. And so she would work with the committee and make sure that there's a consistent link between the official employees as well as volunteers, that it flows smoothly. But as I said, it's heavily reliant on volunteers. We have a staff of approximately 7, and we simply can't do it unless appreciate them taking time out of their very busy schedules and working towards the greater good of Nevis.
The Nelson Springs Wetlands Rehabilitation Project, can you tell us a bit about that?
So we have a Nelson Spring Wetlands Rehabilitation Project. It's also now expanded to the Fort Ashby area, which is right next door. So there has previously been some work on the Nelson Spring project, and we've recently gotten funding from the U.S. Forestry Service in the area of approximately $60,000 US to be able to further delve in and rehabilitate the area. Currently, it's been invaded by what we call cattails. They're a type of reeds that are not indigenous to Nevis, so it's invasive and it's basically choking the spring. So the aim is to be able to remove those and try to stifle their growth while rehabilitating the area with also an on-site nursery of local trees, as well as just clearing and making it more accessible to the community again, because once upon a time it was a staple in the community and now it's simply covered by a lot of cattails and bush.
So Janelle, are there any other historical and cultural and natural resources on Nevis that the NHCS is currently working to protect, other than those that you've mentioned so far?
Just everything in general. A lot of areas don't necessarily fall under our direct control, but the NHCS is respected as such a body that has expertise and volunteerism in the area that we are contacted by members of the general public government departments to be able to lend our expertise and assistance. So where you have areas of erosion, problems where you have individuals hunting turtles out of season, we are constantly contacted and we generally promote, just protecting those areas and not exploiting the resources in such a way that it's unsustainable.
It's a very important work indeed, and you seem to be managing it very well.
So Janelle, you mentioned 14 of the 17 acre, I think, of the of the new river project that was already planted. Do you know what type of trees they're going to put on the next 3 acres to complete it?
It's a whole cross section of trees. I don't have the complete list, but it includes soursop, sugar apples, Suriname cherries, cactus, watermelon, a cross section of trees. We're not limiting it to any specific like coconut tree. We just want it to be reforested with trees that can actually sustain themselves in the environment.
Mm-hmm. And also provide food for us, so we don't have to depend much on importation.
Yes.
So that's a very good initiative.
Janelle, as Kortensia mentioned earlier, you seem to be a woman who wears many hats, although you're not wearing one today. That being said, when did you become involved?
Not today. Maybe I'll get a fashion later.
Good stuff.
When did you become involved in the NHCS? And what is, I guess, the most important takeaway for you having been involved in this?
I officially became a member of staff of the NHCS on September 1st of last year. So I'm recently new here in that capacity. But over the years living in Nevis, I've participated with NHCS when they've organized events such as their coastal cleanups. But in my official capacity, just last year, September.
And that's a new hat that you've donned, although we're not seeing it.
No, not hat. A new fascinator.
Oh, forgive me. I'm being corrected by the woman on stage. Awesome.
I've taken off my... Well, I would like to say I've taken off my hat, but I'm still actually dealing with students who contact me for assistance, so that hat can never come off.
Yeah, I realize that once a teacher, always a teacher. We had a conversation with Mr. Connor the other day, Lincoln Connor.
Always.
I'm sure you're familiar with him, and he said once a teacher, always a teacher. He's still teaching all the as a pastor. So he's teaching in both capacity, educationally and spiritually. So I guess the teaching never goes away. I'm sure it's the same for you, Jamie.
Well, the teaching never goes away. But guess what, Janelle? We're going to go away for a little moment. You're going to stay right there. And she's right, Kortensia, no, it doesn't actually go away. So we're going to take a very brief break. We'll be back to talk with you more when we return. Stay tuned, everyone.
If you gradually use less salt, you will gradually want less salt. Eating less salty foods will reduce your cravings for salty foods. Let's get salt smart.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You're not live clean. Your girl at 16, and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me know you know that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077 or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. We are speaking with the director of the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, Janelle Nisbet. What effects of climate change have you noticed on Nevis over the past few years, Janelle?
The effects of climate change are global, as we know, and in the Caribbean, we're particularly vulnerable to those effects. So we'd be seeing things like the rise in sea levels, which affects our beaches and then our tourism products. We can see a shift of the rainy season and the dry season. I know growing up, we were taught, June to November is the wet season, but I think as adults now, we look around and realize that that's been shifting. So we have more longer periods of droughts as well on the island and in the region as a whole. We're more vulnerable to storms and hurricanes, etc. And we're just, small, but we're having the impacts of a global problem.
So can you tell us how humans, us, how do we influence climate change?
It's sometimes it can seem like pouring water into a bucket with a hole because we are so tiny. But I think it's important for everyone to try and do their small part, because if you only look at your small part and think this can't make a difference, and everybody did that, then no change would be made. So if all the small nations of the world, as well as the bigger nations, start making a concerted effort to mitigate the effects of climate change and change our behaviors that are impacting climate change, then I think we can start seeing a change over the years. So in Nevis, we're working on doing our part. However small it is, we're going to keep trying and start at home, protect our island, and hope that the trend continues globally.
How can the general public, Janelle, support the NHCS in protecting our country's natural resources? What are the things that you're looking for in terms of volunteerism, association, even just getting the information out there?
The Nevis has a very finite population, so it's approximately 12,000 individuals. So we tap into these same individuals repeatedly. So generally, you just want to encourage your volunteers to stay interested, stay committed. We're trying not to burn out our volunteers too much, but as I said, it's finite, so we're heavily reliant on the same group of individuals. So we just want everyone to know that we appreciate them and to keep volunteering with us, do work on your own. Let us know what you're doing so that we can partner and not repeat the same efforts, and so that we can work collaboratively.
So if new members wanted to join your society, what would be the criteria?
There is no criteria for joining the society. If you are under 18, it's only 5 EC annually because we want to encourage young people to join. So that's just a nominal fee just to sign up for the whole year, 5 EC. As an adult, it's 65 EC, again, very well within most of our means. We just want to encourage you to sign up. There is no job requirement, any background requirement. You don't even have to be in the division or live on the island to become a member. So you can contact us by any different means to become a member, whether through our Facebook page at Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, or you can sign up through our website at nevisheritage.org. Give us a call. Any means of walking to our museums and sign up, any means of signing up, you can just join the society. It's not a complicated process.
Well, that's good to know, because the work that you do seemingly is complicated, but very simple changes lead to very impactful results. So Janelle, we want to thank you again for speaking with us today, and congratulations, by the way. There is one thing I do have to congratulate you for. The NIA recently awarded you on International Women's Day, the organization that is the NHCS. Tell us about that experience. What was it like for you? And again, congratulations.
It was wonderful because I was at an event surrounded by women who are making an impact. And that's really always been my goal. I can't take credit for the award for the NHCS, but I was happy to receive it on their behalf. I have to take this occasion again to shout out the members of the NHCS that would have worked so hard on these projects to help us be recognized as an agent of change, from our committee head, Isabel Byron, to our president, Richard Lupinacci, to our staff, Keller Bendito, who works on the committee, to our grant writers, Lorna Abungu. It's a host of other individuals who contributed towards making this possible. But it was a great experience and humbling and motivating, so that I know that I'm in an organization that has already begun making an impact. My contribution can only be to continue that effort and make it even better.
Congratulations, Kenna. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us and all about your work. I know Kortensia is big on becoming associate members, so who knows, when she jots across the water to Nevis, you might be seeing her stop by. All right, Kortensia.
Indeed.
All right, so thank you again for taking the time, and hopefully this won't be our last conversation. When we spoke with you before, you know, we never thought we'd be speaking with you this soon again, in a different capacity, albeit. So who knows what we'll be speaking about next time. Good to see you, though, and yeah, take care. Best of luck to you. We'll be back in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children. Settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes! When you feel like shaking and swimming around, you see the ocean gone like the fish on the sand. You should run, the high ground, a tsunami soon come.
Mommy, Uncle not here and the other shake. Hush your mouth. Daddy, Uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see, Sammy.
When you feel the earth shaking and it's moving all around, you see the ocean gone like the fish on the sand. You should run, the higher ground, a tsunami soon come.
Consuming excess salt can lead to heart attack, high blood pressure, and even stroke, and other health-related conditions such as kidney disease.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
veggies for dinner. Let me just check the amount of sodium in this can. Oh no, this is too much. Let me try our next option. They did say it's healthy to consume less salt. This is much better. I am salt smart.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Gift baskets are typically presented as a token of appreciation. There are a variety of gift baskets that exist. Some contain fruit, while others may include dry or canned foods and even snacks. G's gift baskets is in the middle of their March Madness special. Yes, I saw that. 15 or 5% off. 5? 15?
I think it was 12.
Okay. They're offering gourmet baskets for only $110. Only $110. These baskets are perfect for birthdays, for other celebrations, and even just because. Owner Jadine Fifield is here with us to tell us about this March Madness special. Good morning, Jadine, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning.
So where did the idea for March Madness come from?
Well, coming off of February Valentine's high, we wanted to continue the high, find ways of always doing something special, and we thought of March Madness, and we thought that we could drop one of the prices as a way to give back to customers and keep the momentum going in the business.
Okay. So when I looked at it, I swore I saw 15, but no, don't let me give away too much.
So
it's my business.
No, but you just listed the percentage here, so it's like 12%.
Yes.
That's a great percentage, even more than you thought. So that being said, this is not the first time that the special is being offered, is it?
Well, this is the first time we've done March Madness, yes. But we have done specials before.
Has it been mad for March so far?
Yes, it has. And it's been picking up.
Okay, that's good.
When we launched the flyer, soon as we launched it, a guy called the very same day. It's my birthday, it's March 1st, so on March 1st we were off.
Okay, so it's first to experience.
Yes.
That is very good. I want to know, is this a pandemic business? Was it pandemic driven to start?
No, it's not. Okay. It's something I don't know. I just happened to do it since 2015.
Okay.
I was just doing it as a hobby and trying to get rid of some bowls I had in my house.
Look at that.
And then...
So you just packed it with stuff and decided?
Yes. I was really trying to get rid of the bowls.
That's so interesting to me. I'm going to go to my house. I'm going to see what I need to get rid of, and I'm going to see if I have a business in the next 6-7 years.
And that's how it really started. And then people just keep, you can't stop here, we got to do this. Mothers, they come in and it went.
Well, there you go. Exactly. Because in getting rid of the bowls in your house, I'm imagining that you had initial items that you put in those bowls.
Yeah.
So have you expanded on the items that you put in relation to the gift baskets?
Yes, we have expanded quite a bit because when I started really was a Valentine's Day. And no, just word of mouth. So I'm going to do this. You want one? To get rid of the bowls. And then after that, I think my sister said, well, Mother says I'm on the corner. And then when Mother's Day finished, they said, we can't leave out the fathers.
Yeah, of course.
And we did the fathers. And then when that finished, they said, well, you know, you always have birthdays. And it was like people just keep pushing me to stop it and get rid of my bowls.
Buy my bowls or baskets. Yep.
And then in 2017, though, I lost my main job. And then trying to find work was really tough. And then that's where I got the drive to keep going further. And then I had a daughter. She was in college at the time doing business management, and she would come home with the ideas and Mom, let's do this, and we just keep moving, and that was it.
I love it.
I haven't looked back since.
I love it. I love that you take the thing that's supposed to be adverse and you use that as a springboard. Look at where you are now. This is interesting. All right, so you're talking about 2015. Okay, let's talk about the forms of the gift baskets that you have. So what can you tell us? Viewers are watching. We want to know what there is to entice us to stop by G's. What would you say?
For me, I mean, they call me the gift basket boss. We do anything. I have done things like colored theme basket, all red, all blue, all pink. Last year for Mother's Day, we brought this basket on for the first time, all sold. And that idea came from the pandemic because most persons were cooking. And we didn't have Christmas, but we had Mom Mass. And that basket was Chef Orama. And we didn't use the basket, we used the baking pan as the base. And then you had like the cooking book, cooking utensils, apron, your dishwashing rag, your mittens, and that was the basket.
And that took off as well?
Yes, all of those that I brought in for that particular soul. And then for Father's Day, we did a car wash theme basket where you have your chamois, you have your car wash, you have the armor wall, you have the you call it the scented thing?
The car freshener.
Air freshener, anything basically. You had the tire shine that was in the basket. So it's like, give me a theme and I want to do it. We do breakfast theme basket. You will get a tea mug, you get your coffee, you get your yogurts, and that's how I do it. So it's anything.
Hey, Cheese does it all.
I also noticed you do the edible fruits.
The
edible fruit arrangements.
No, I don't do edible.
Okay,
I do fruit baskets. I don't cut the fruits.
Oh, you don't cut the fruits. Okay.
Because for me, some persons, when they get the basket, they just want to watch it for a while. And some people tell me, I don't want to open it, it looks so pretty. And so I don't cut them, I allow them to use them how they wish.
Oh, okay.
So that preserves the life of it. But if you want to, Kortensia will be willing to help you with a knife. All right, we'll be back in a moment. Talk more about G's, right? We will. Stay tuned.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. Cause no man's alone, do what's right, alright. Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
Did you know that there are certain seasonings that contain more salt than you actually need? There are more natural, healthier ways to reduce the salt intake in your dishes, by using natural things like onions, garlic, seasoned peppers, and even thyme and merengue powder.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by Jadine Fifield, owner of G's Gift Basket. Jadine is now going to break down the items in one of the gourmet baskets being offered for her March Madness special. So can you tell us what's in the basket?
In the basket, right, in my gourmet basket, I do a mix of items. So you'll have something salt, and in the back here, we have the ole, that's something salt. You have crackers, that's something salt as well. And then in the front of the basket, we have dry fruits to get fruit, something healthy. We have fruit cocktail, and then you have sweet, you have chocolates, and you have what you call a moon pie. And you have some caramel cookies, and then back on the healthy side again, we have a sun mix, and then you want something salt again, we have popcorn here. And in the center, we have a juice in this gift basket. So it's a mixture of foods, not just all sweets. I don't believe in doing all sweets. All salt unless if you want all sweets, they come get a chocolate fantasy where you get all chocolates.
Chocolate fantasy, I love the names. Where do you come up with these things?
I don't know. It just comes to my mind and I just 1 minute.
Put it together. But I like this basket because I can be unhealthy and then eat healthy and not feel too bad about it.
Yes. Yeah, you have a very good mixture here. So you have your crackers. If you want to eat a piece of chocolate, then you eat the crackers after.
Or then I just come back to the nuts, the healthy nuts, and not feel too bad and be like, well, I promised
and then you have your cranberries here.
Exactly. Yes. After the cookies, right?
Today, all I want to know is, we had chocolate fantasy mentioned. Does this have a name?
This is a gourmet basket.
Gourmet basket.
Yes, it's a gourmet.
Not as intriguing in name as the chocolate fantasy.
The chocolate fantasy is because it will be all chocolates. All chocolates.
Tell us about the other fantasies.
So do you have a team that helps you with the packaging?
No, basically I do everything myself. My daughters, though, they help me with the marketing side, the social media side of things.
Next generation.
They get me flyers ready, they get me like March Madness. I just write down something and they get the flyer, they put it out there. Like my daughter, I post something, I struggle to get 20 views. My daughter will say, Mommy, but I got 500, how you get it? I don't know.
She's got 500.
Yes, so they help me with the marketing, but I do the shopping, I pack and deliver. I only don't deliver on hectic days like on a Mother's Day or Valentine's because I can't move.
Gotcha.
I'll just be packing.
So when people come to you and they say, you know what, Jadine, because you obviously personalize things as well.
Yes.
So they say, Jadine, do they say, hey, this is my budget and you're going to work within that budget for me, so nothing is really a set price. You're working with your customers.
A lot of sometimes persons come to me and sometimes they will bring the ideas to me, you know. They say, like the other day I did a basket, it was a Dove basket. And they came and they was like, wow. They wanted everything in it, Dove items, and they still wanted a wine. And I said, well, that's gonna cost you a bit. They said, I don't mind, and I went ahead and I got it done for them. So sometimes they bring the ideas to me and I just gotta get it done.
So I want to know, the Dove basket, was it chocolate, then shower stuff? Then...
The Dove items are like body items. So it would be like cream, lotion, the body spray,
so it's a shower basket.
hand cream, yeah.
Okay.
That is your selling point, though, I have to tell you, because if I could think of not going to a store and picking out a pre-pured, I'm going to hyphenate the pre on this part, basket and say, you know what, I think you might like this, or I think, the person who I'm giving might like that, and I can say, Jadine, I'm going to call you up and be like, yeah, I want this. This is exactly what I want. That's your biggest selling point, because you're the one going around doing all the shopping. You're the one putting all this together. I don't have the hassle.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes what I get a lot of, especially from the Facebook side, that happened a lot during the pandemic. Those persons in diaspora, they were happy to know that they had somebody here that they could call, message. I have somebody do a birthday, I need this. I just need a wine, I just need a little chocolate, I just need something. Give me a price. So sometimes I go outside the price list just to get what they want done for them. And then we'll send them the photos of what was delivered.
And on that note, because you're mentioning the diaspora, so you're not just, limiting yourself to taking orders from people here. You need to look into that camera and tell people how they can contact you at G's Gift
Baskets. At G's Gift Basket, we are on Facebook, G's G-E''S Gift Baskets. We are on Instagram. We're also on the JAD app. And our phone number is 669-6578. Just call us. We get it done. We are the basket boss.
Basket boss, yes. Basket boss indeed.
Kortensia has her arms up, Let's go, Kortensia. It's a basket boss. Come
Let's go, woman. Well, Jadine, it was indeed a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for bringing one of your lovely baskets. And folks, do not forget the basket boss. So call her for all of your needs.
All.
Yeah, so thank you for taking time out of your busy basket schedule and joining us today on Good Morning SKN. Ladies and gentlemen, stick and stay. We will be right back.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed
No cash, no card, no problem. JAD. Embrace the freedom.
Has anyone ever touched you here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without air. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. In the month of March, the contributions and achievements of women around the world are celebrated. This happens not just on International Women's Day, but all month long. And today we have the pleasure of featuring members of the Prospective Women Empowerment Organization. I love this, CAWS, CAUSE, which stands for Celebrating a Woman's Strength. This is an organization that aims to support women and families. And they will do this by assisting with various activities, including how to seek grants. So join us in welcoming the founder of CAUSE, Sybil Allen Jones, and director Dr. Josephine Claxton Richardson. Welcome to Good Morning SKN,
Welcome,
both of you. Wow, familiar faces indeed.
Good
How are you doing?
Well, good, thank you. And you?
Great.
Thanks.
Great to see both of you. Great to have this conversation
nice to.
started. And we're starting it this way. What inspired the name CAUSE?
I think I'll turn that over to Dr. Sybil, and she can explain, as the founder of the organization, so she can explain a bit further. Yeah.
So essentially, this is in honor of my grandmother. Her name was Mabel Woodcock, and she was a fiery person. I think I get all of my fieriness from her. And she was a chef and an entrepreneur before we even knew those words. My mother, Josephine Allen, who was a public health nurse in the 50s and 40s in St. Kitts, where women rocked healthcare because there were no physicians. I think Dr. Sebastian was the first Black physician in St. Kitts, but the nurses took care of things. And then my cousin Lucy, her name is Lucina Walrand. She was the one that actually made it possible for us to go to Canada. I should say she went up on what was called the Domestic Workers Program in 1967 to Canada. So she was like my second mom. And then finally, my sister, Amber Allen, Pennyfeather, who unfortunately left us way too early in 2018. And she was a teacher at Maurice Hillier, an educator. And so this foundation is in honor of the strength of these women who have influenced my life in a very positive way and allow me to continue to do all the work I do. I'm an Energizer bunny, so I just keep on going. I won't stop. I won't give up on this nation. There's so much work to be done, and I'm here to do that. In the form of an NGO. And I'm very fortunate to have people like Dr. Claxton and Iseline Phillip, who just came back from Canada as a gender specialist. She was a friend of Akila's, my younger daughter. And we're just gonna provide a level of professionalism and accountability and transparency in an NGO, which is, as you mentioned, it's called CAUSE. because we feel that we are the womb bearers of society. We're the ones that bring life into this world. So we need to be elevated and supported and be able to do the things that we need to do. And I like to think of it from a point of view of triage. And triage is a concept that's used in medicine. So if I came into JNF with a heart attack and Josephine came in with a broken finger, they should be treating me first because that's the most critical piece. And it's the same way with women and children. If we are able to make sure that women and children are thriving, then everyone else around us will thrive. So that's sort of the basis of my foundation.
You mentioned the women that motivated you. Is there anything else in particular that motivated you to establish this organization?
No, I've always been interested in women. My career, I am a psychotherapist. I have a PhD in organizational psychology. I also have been doing counseling for probably 30 plus years or so, maybe even a little longer now. 1983 was when I graduated. I can't keep track of my age and stage anymore. I recently turned 64, but I'm actually going to be 46 forever. So that's kind of how I see myself. No, I feel like I've always been a feminist. I think actually the term feminism came into my life when I was in high school. I had an amazing librarian who gathered women to talk about our role and our responsibilities and our magic. And so I've always been, working with and for women. It doesn't mean that men are not in the equation. In fact, men really need to be in the equation because men are floundering. Men and boys are not doing well in our society. And if we don't have proper partners and supporters in that realm, then the society is not going to thrive. And so part of our programming actually will be focused on specific programs for men and boys, not facilitated by women, but by men. So that's really an important gap that we see that this NGO will bring. The other thing that we really want to do is to not necessarily develop a lot of programs. We want to support programs that are already operational so we can provide more funding, more maybe some more competencies, whatever the organization needs to be able to thrive. Because often people have great ideas, they're doing wonderful work, but the resources is really where things fall apart. So that's really, why we're decided to come back and do this and, have a team of people around me, wonderful people like Josephine and Iseline. And we're also going to be, Josephine will talk about this, creating a board that will be inclusive. And when we talk about inclusive, we're really pushing the envelope on that. So Josephine can talk a little bit about that at some point.
Yes, well, we can ask her now. Dr. Claxton, radiant smile as always. What can you tell us about what you said about the board?
And so we talk about inclusion and we use this word, and I think we use it very loosely. We talk about we've got inclusive settings here, but we don't always have the real backing and the backbone of what inclusion really means. And if we're talking about the practice of policy providing equal access to opportunities, then the organization that what we're putting together is looking at having a board that mirrors what's going on in society. Who's in society? It's all right saying, oh, we're inclusive, we've got this, but we really want to have people that have a vision, that understand and are like-minded and really want to champion this cause of supporting organizations that are out there. So on the board, we're looking at having LGBT community, we're looking at having women, we're looking at having men, people with lots of different backgrounds that can come and actually contribute in a meaningful way and actually have that understanding that, this is not just about, stepping on anybody's foot, but it's about raising each other. Because I think in society, a lot of the time, we don't look back at history and Sankofa tells us to go back and reclaim. And if we go back and reclaim and look really at what women in history, what they've done and what they've contributed, because I did a lot of women's studies and looked at women and Black women in history, because I think we forget that. We see our Black history just about slavery and that's all we're promoting. But history for us is a richness and we need to go back and reclaim that and look at that in order to bring us forward into where we want to be. And there's so many talented women out there, so many entrepreneurial women that don't even realize themselves because we keep knocking them back down. And this organization is about raising people to where they need to be and making them feel empowered and confident to go out there and showcase what they do have. You know, there's so many women that I meet that are so talented that just don't believe in themselves. And like Dr. Sybil said, it's not just about the women, it's about men as well, men and the boys. And that's always been my passion. It's always been my passion to really raise the boys. And every time I see a young man doing something good, I give them praise for that. And not in a way that's patronizing, a way that raises them, because it's good to see men doing things. And I think a lot of the time we say, oh, they're not doing anything, but they are. They are doing things, but we just focus on the negative. And we want to focus on raising it and seeing what's there and bringing it to the forefront.
Well, I can sense your
just
passion.
to add to what Josephine is saying, we have some particular pillars that the organization is really starting from, and that will ground us. So gender being one of them. And gender is, as Josephine said, it's a much wider concept that we understand. I think in the Caribbean, we're still a little shy about talking about gender, things like gender fluidity, but we need to come on board, because it's whether it's you believe in it or you think it's good, doesn't really matter. It's really, we have to meet people where they are. And that's really where we are. So that's one of our main pillars. The other thing is equity. We talk more about equity rather than equality. Equity has to do with meeting people where they are. So if people need shoes, I won't necessarily want to have the same shoes as what Josephine wants. And that's what equity is. That's the difference between equity and equality. It's not like everyone gets the same thing. Everyone doesn't need the same thing. We have to decide what people need and then help them get what they need so that they can really do what they want to do, be their best selves. So that's another of our pillars. The other one is inclusion, which is, as Josephine beautifully explained, we are looking at neurodiversity is another area where we all think differently. We all come from on a spectrum, really, of how we process information, process the world, see the world. So that's a very important piece for us. People with, who are differently abled, for example, they also need to be part of the, what services and resources that could be made available as well. So we're broad stroking with all of this, right? And family. And finally, when a family is recognizing the variety of family structures and strengthening the development of family units to make stronger communities. We have a lot of what you might consider single parent, female-headed households in our federation. So women are carrying the burden of responsibility. And during COVID, we know that women have left the workforce in the numbers that we haven't seen since the 50s. We know that women have been the one who have been educating children with homeschooling or online schooling. No thought or preparation from the ministries of education about how to make that happen for people. Just, you're supposed to educate your child and be at home working. This is what we have to really begin to reflect on. We need the voices of women. We need the voices of people who have various lived experiences in order for better policy to be made. Policy just made by a specific groups of men. We've seen the history of that. Where are we right now? This is a very pivotal piece of a time in our history. And this decade is the start of women and women leaders. This is where we need to take control of what's been going on in our societies, because we're the ones who are been impacted tremendously throughout history and continue to be in the present as well.
Dr. Alan Jones, Dr. Claxton Richardson, we will be back in a moment to continue this very engaging conversation. Please don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Most people consume excess salt from processed foods, such as snack foods, processed meats, instant meals, and condiments.
Instead, use fresh vegetables, ground provision, fresh meats, and natural herb seasonings, just like our grandparents did, and just like you did with this soup. We are Salt Smart.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We will continue our discussion with the members of the organization CAUSE, which is an acronym for Celebrating a Woman's Strength. Founder Sybil Allen Jones and Director Dr. Josephine Claxton Richardson. We understand that the aim of this organization is to offer assistance with grants. How will CAUSE achieve this? Any one of you ladies can tell us?
Just repeat the question, sorry.
Yeah.
We understand that the aim of this organization is to offer assistance with grants. How will CAUSE achieve this?
We have to, I think our ultimate aim is we have to do the groundwork. So we're going to have to look at, first of all, setting ourselves up as the NGO. Now, we're actually in our early stages. So once we're set up as an NGO, we then will look at what's out there. We have to look at the organizations that are out there. As Dr. Sybil said earlier, we're not about setting up anything new or different. We're actually about strengthening organizations that are already on the ground. So we'll look at what organizations on the ground, which means that we have to do a lot of work looking at these organizations and seeing where there's a need or where there's a gap. And I think that's important. If we look at where the gaps are, and then we try and support them in, navigate them in the direction of what can help enable them to strengthen the organizations that are already there. So that's how we would start initially. So we're still in our stage of looking at it, discussing, looking at which ways, but we have a fairly good idea of what we really want to do. And then we're going to look at, because there's so much grants out there and people just don't know how to apply for grants a lot of the time, and what criteria is that are looking for. So that's something that we'll be looking at as well. What's around, what's out there. We've met so many people that have got some wonderful skills, but are just in little corners. And we don't want those skills to get lost. And, with the new way things are going within society, we need to be self-sufficient. We need to be really looking at how we can enable ourselves as well.
And also, we're going to have funding structures. So we're expecting the community, and the community for us is the diaspora as well. I have lots of connections in Toronto and the U.S. And so we're going to have funding structures. We already have. We're just waiting, as Josephine said, to finalize our NGO status, and then that way we'll be able to provide the bank account and where people can make contributions. And we have lots of contributions waiting. We also have structures where we will, try to get money from corporations in the Federation. I also want to say that although we're focusing on St. Kitts and Nevis right now, Dominica is another island that's dear to my heart. And my hope is at some point to be able to offer services as well and support to Dominicans. So having said that, we will be looking for people to maybe make monthly contributions, quarterly contributions, organizations or corporate entities to be able to support maybe an annual donation. So that's part of the collection of resources, as well as the grants, as we Josephine so aptly explained.
Are there any other supportive measures that CAUSE intends to implement? And if so, what are they and what can you tell us about them?
Supportive measures? Is that what you said?
Yes. So
I'm not sure what that means.
All right, I'll paraphrase. So we're focusing on women, we're empowering them. We're also involving more men into the things. You're not leaving men out. You're including members of society. You're meeting people where they are. So in terms of that, what are the measures that you're using to ensure that you get that buy-in, but also that you provide the help to those groups that you've identified as needing it?
I think I'm still having a little struggle with your question. So I suppose what I'm, if I understand what you're saying, is we have a cross section of people who will be benefiting from the organization. A large cross section. What we do is we collaborate with existing organizations to find out what the needs are. I think sometimes we're not going to approach people coming with, this is what you need to do, or we know what you need. We have no idea what people need. So our approach is really to have those discussions, have that input. Input is very critical. Oftentimes we tell people what to do. We don't want to tell people what to do. A lot of these organizations are doing amazing work. We just want to enhance that and augment that. And so our approach is really just to go and find out, really kind of do some preliminary, surveys or preliminary, focus groups where we get a sense of what is required out there and what are the needs that the current organizations are having difficulties meeting. So that's the first kind of phase, because as I say, our focus is really on working with existing organizations right now, and there are many of them that support women, many of them support children, some that support men. There have been some men's groups in the past, and a lot of the churches in particular seem to have some focus on how they can assist men and boys. Of course, there are a lot of boys organizations as well, the Scouts and all of those kinds of programs. So that's where we want to start. We don't want to reinvent the wheel, but we do feel, I in particular have some specific suggestions and things around supporting men and boys with men leading. I have a colleague who's a Dominican who lives in London, England, and he is just finishing up a program where he and I will be collaborating and doing workshops for men and boys. And so I want him to be the one is on the ground in Dominica, in Nevis and St. Kitts, doing those things. He's a hip hop artist. He's also a banker. He works for Deutsche Bank, which is kind of an odd combination, but he's very creative. And I'm looking for people like that. I'm looking for people in Nevis and St. Kitts who can also support that and be able to sit with men and talk about, what it's like to be a man and a boy in this culture, in this society. What are the barriers to you thriving? What are the barriers to you carrying out responsibilities as a father, as a partner, as a husband? These are the things that we need to talk about. We have, in my view, a lot of toxic male energy in our parts. And a lot of that stems from how we raise our children, and particularly our boys. We either, in my view, we either over coddle them so that they actually don't even know how to take care of themselves. Like I was telling you, my grandson was saying to my brother the other day, Uncle Stafford, you need to know how to cook. My brother does not even know how to boil water. And he's, almost 70 years old. So, we're supporting him, as he has some health crises right now. But that was on his raising. It wasn't just on him. And the other extreme is that we don't allow men and boys, and particularly boys in the early raising, to express their emotions. I have so many stories from men about, they scrape their knee, their mothers, they get a slap and say, boys don't cry, be strong man. No, that's not how we do it. That's not helping us. And how can we expect them to then be empathetic and supportive to us as partners and as women when we haven't even given them the opportunity to express who they are?
Thank you very much. You did answer the question well, in fact. I'm glad that you understood it. Finally, how can persons get involved in cause before and after its launch? This time seemed to have run us by really quickly.
Quickly.
Want to take that, Josephine, or?
Well, so like we said, we're just setting up. So the thing is that they can actually contact us. We do have a sheet that actually is asking people to put their names forward. So we'll actually ask people to contact us. They can contact me, or they can contact Dr. Sybil and Iselin as well. So there's the three of us that are on the ground that, but I think Iselin may be the pivotal point for contact really at this stage. And she's actually collecting all that data. So we can actually give her number, and then people can actually send information to Iselin, who's pivotal on the ground at the moment. Yeah. I don't know if Dr. Sybil's got that number right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that in a second. But yes, Iselin would be the person at this point. And also, well, I can give my email address as well and a WhatsApp phone number. So it's SybilAllenJones@gmail.com. And my WhatsApp number is 1-416-574-1214. That's out of Toronto. But Iselin, I am trying to find her here. But also, Josephine, I guess you can also provide your information to them as well.
Yeah, so it's Josephine Claxton Richardson, 669-7199. And that's 669-7199.
It's been very engaging.
And at this stage, we're taking.
Yes, go ahead,
yes,
please.
Go on.
No, go ahead, doctor.
And at this stage, we are actually taking people's details. So that's good if people do contact, because it'd be good to have this just continue this discussion as well if people are interested in talking about it and have an interest in supporting what we're doing.
We're also going to be putting together an Instagram page so we can find that information soon coming, that we'll be just updating people. Right now, we're in the process of making sure that we can get the NGO status. It's a little more onerous than we had imagined, but we're going to work through that. Onerous and expensive. So we're looking to see whether there are other avenues for us to make that happen, because we already know, for example, that there's some grant waiting for us, a grant application that we can put in May if we are able to get our NGO status within 4 to 6 weeks. Which we spoke with the lawyer recently, so we know the process now. We just have to figure out how to, get the resources, or hopefully maybe there's some way through government structure that we can actually get that status without having to pay tons of money for that. So we're working on that right now, and we know that we'll be successful. We have no choice but to be successful.
Yes, we'll be successful.
We're only.
Love your positivity.
It's a given. I'm here like the 4 powerful women in my life. I can't let them down. I mean, it's just going to be we're working on their behalf, and I know that their energy and the spirits from the ancestors are just guiding me every day, every step of the way. So,
amen.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking with both of you. Thank you so much for enlightening us. I can't wait to see what becomes of cause, and all the very best to you.
Thank you very much as well.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time to interview us. And we will be on the radar. You will not miss us.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, ladies.
Take care.
More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
no cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. It is time to loosen up. Kortensia and I had an insightful conversation earlier with members of the St. Kitts and Nevis robotics team, all about STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And now we're going to have a lighthearted conversation surrounding STEAM. Here we go. It's lighthearted. We'll float away with temperatures that rise.
Yeah. Yeah, we might if it's breezy out there.
Or something else. All right.
Yeah.
So which aspects of STEAM are you most interested in?
If it's in a sauna, definitely. I will have to say the arts.
Yeah, why is that?
Anything we have to do with making and creating. You know, I'm a mini Picasito, so it has to be the arts for me. Mathematics is good, although it was a struggle to pass it in school, which I did eventually.
Yes.
I got a whopping 3, which I'm proud of, because maths is hard. So that will be my second thing.
I'm not supposed to say that it is. I'll say that it's the right amount of challenge. That's what I'll say, officially. But I feel you. All right, so you liked mathematics in school, didn't you?
No.
Oh, gosh.
I just said no.
You said it was hard. You didn't say you didn't like it.
I did biology probably in 3rd form because I thought it would make me look bougie. But nah.
You did biology to be bougie?
Yeah.
This is so interesting to me. Walking around the lab coat. Biology bougie? Yeah, you go ahead. I'm looking at all those. I don't even know if you can call them. Yeah. I'm not going to use the biological term. Let's call it those things in the glass jars that have been preserved.
Yep.
Since time immemorial. Yes. Yep. Okay. Yes. So for me, I liked math. Obviously, I did the sciences, so I love those.
Yeah.
Physics. Yeah.
You look like a math and science guy, I must say.
Imagine that. Yes. Many different hats. Here we go. All right. So how relevant do you think STEAM is in today's society, though?
Very relevant, because where we're going, eventually it will be robots. We notice we have a vacuum cleaner that cleans by itself. That's a robot. We notice we have robots that are serving in restaurants in the outer world. So it is important because it's building a society that maybe gives us more free time to do stuff, so we can just say, robot, bring this, and why we just relax, because we need to relax. I don't know if you have noticed or felt it, but society is a bit stressful now. So imagine with the robots, we have more time to do human things.
Imagine that.
Like go for a massage while the robot cleans up and cook. Yeah, so it's a good thing.
If I listen to you, the robot will be the one doing the massage or giving the massage.
Or listening to me.
Yeah.
How about that? You don't have to listen to me anymore.
Oh, you're so... Wait, where's the robot? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but seriously. Now, one of the things that I like about it, and it's always a debate, though, because when you start thinking about the way that technology progresses, particularly as it relates to artificial intelligence and robots doing this, self-assisted cars, you don't have to drive them anymore, those sorts of things. The question is, well, what are humans going to be left to do?
Relax, R&R.
You like that.
We need it.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. That is precisely why I'm a tech guy. because I wanted to be sure that no matter what, there would be a viable source of income. There would be some way. Let's be realistic. We went through the hit, right? So technology is the way to go. And if you can get into it, if you have people in your family who can get into it, the younger generation, they can pretty much dictate what happens in our world going forward, even starting today. We heard Sanjeev say that we are competing on the level, if not surpassing China when we go to the Olympics. That's why I had him repeat it. It's really very good to know. So talent is what talent is. Are non-technical fields becoming less sought after? I don't know. What do you think?
As you said, with the pandemic, Zoom and Skype and all of those that we probably took for granted back then. Because after a while, Skype faded out, if you realize. All of those types of technologies became important because we needed to keep in contact, be it with our friends or family, have meetings at home.
The things that we never thought we'd do. Have meetings at home. Ooh, yes. But we've learned.
But the non-technical fields.
Like, what are those?
Ooh.
What are those? You know what I mean? Like technological fields, I would think. That's probably what it is. That's probably a better one. The non-technological fields. As we know, seem to be. So science, technology, but I think it's in everything. So realistically, and you heard Sanjeev say it when he talked about the art part of it. You're creating a prototype, so you're going to be designing certain things. I think it's the same way if you're making a dress or if you're making a gown, you still have to incorporate art. So I don't think that anything will necessarily be left out.
We do not need any more of the emperor's new clothes walking around. So it'll still be relevant. Now you put it that way,
Oh, the image that just came into my head. The emperor's new clothes.
No emperor's new clothes.
Oh my gosh, this is too funny.
So we will still need non-technical fields.
Yeah, definitely so.
Yep. To cook, make clothing.
I want to know if you
even to
join.
Clean, because what if the robot short circuits?
Rosie on the Jetson. I want to know if you join the SKNRC if you could.
Yes. Because you're never too old to learn. And technology is evolving, so it is necessary to be abreast with things. Although I know the next generation is in capable hands, because every day I see more and more young people coming forward. So I would join.
Okay.
Definitely. Would you?
That's nice. It reminds me of what I said to Dr. Neal when he was here. I said that I wrote a paper on robotics when I was pursuing my undergrad, and it was really interesting to do that. And then he came, and he had the vision to create that. So that's great. And that being said, now it's time to let our viewers know, just like that.
Like that.
What's happening?
Wow.
What's happening, Kortensia?
2022 Virtual Education USA Academy Scholarships. Education USA Academy Connects is the virtual program model of the Education USA Academy, a campus-based college preparatory program for international students. The Academy is a short-term, that's 4 to 6 week academic enrichment program for 15 to 18-year-old international secondary school students who are interested in pursuing higher education in the United States. Education USA Academy Connects involves a time commitment of 3 to 5 hours per week and is intended to allow students the flexibility to balance external commitments while participating in the program. Participating students will gain knowledge about the U.S. admissions process as they build college-level academic skills. They will also have opportunities to engage virtually with current international and/or U.S. students and develop a better understanding of the strength and diversity of the U.S. higher education system. All participants' costs will be covered for students who have been awarded the 2022 Virtual Education USA Academy Scholarships. Application should be submitted no later than 11:59 p.m. AST Friday, March the 18th, 2022. To find out more about how you can apply, visit https://bit.ly/3hw 19qg/dot.
Oh, I was going to leave that website for you because there's no way you really get me to read that. All right, so yes, guess what? It's that time. I don't know why I'm so excited. I came in with the energy for Monday, but now it's goodbye yay time. The show's over, people.
Yeah, it's really that time.
But we want to thank you for joining us. We want to invite you to follow us on our social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. Yes, we're there at Studio 327 Inc. Like, subscribe, and follow us.
Leave us a comment and tell us what topics and guests you would like to see next. Don't forget pictures of the sunrise, the sunset, and what's in your cup. And on that note, we will say see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. when you start your morning with us right here at Good Morning SKN. Have a great day.